Well, well, well. Good morning, good afternoon, beautiful people, friends, family, bookers, YouTubers, wherever you're joining me from. Hopefully, you can hear me. If you caught my earlier live stream, that was a test. I was working with the Restream folks. Their support team is awesome. Just trying to navigate some connectivity issues with YouTube. So, if you're coming to me from wherever, YouTube or Facebook, just let me know you're here in the comments. Good to see you, Will. Thanks for joining us. And I'm just checking on YouTube to see if I'm there. That sounds weird, doesn't it? If I'm there. Well, it says I'm live, so yeah. Well, thanks for joining me. And again, good to see you. Hi, Jamie. Great to see you today. Hope you got a chance to watch yesterday's video, and I hope your dog is feeling better today. Jamie had to take her baby to the vet yesterday for itchy paw. I think that's right. Anyway, beautiful Mastiff. Thank you for sending me a picture. So anyway, let's jump in. Well, say hello if you're there. If you're just joining us for the first time, let me know. I've actually heard from a few people who've never commented, but have told me they're enjoying the videos. So for those people, thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. That's actually a lot of today's message, not showing up, but we'll get to that. So let me start today with a quote. I like quotes. And I heard someone say recently that if you never quote others, chances are you'll never be quoted. But I digress. Anyway, one of my favorite people, Simon Sinek, says, before we can build the world we want to live in, we have to imagine it. And I feel like that's been a lot of what we've been talking about, is imagining the world we want to live in so that we can take the steps to build it. I got that email this morning. I get a daily dose of Simon Sinek. And that just happened to be there, and it tied in so beautifully with today's message. So, seemingly simple thought, right? But for many of us, I know, because I've been there, I am there, it's actually overwhelmingly complex. How can that be? So let me tell you about my morning this morning. I started my day as normal. You know, I've told you before, I like to start my day by including positive messages. I listen to podcasts. I listen to various things. I read positive influence material, you know, whether that's personal development, whether it's professional development, or whatever it may be. But I try to tune out all the negativity that could be around me. You know, a lot of people wake up in the morning and they watch the news, and I'll tell you, the media is a tremendous source of negativity. It is just overwhelming. And I choose to turn it out. And I observe others whose attitudes might be affected by watching it. It's interesting to see it unfold in real time. You know, seeing the way that just watching the news can impact people throughout the day. So I go back to our conversation the other day, which is, we only have the ability to control, and this is, by the way, not the message I was going to share today. I still have more notes, but I'll get back to that. But we have the ability to choose, and only the ability to control what we can influence. We can't choose, we can't control the way other people act, react, respond, think, right? We only have the ability to make those decisions for ourselves. And if you remember, the way we think about things is what determines our emotions and reactions to those things. And if you want to change your life, you need to change the way you think about it. So that brings me back to today's message, which is so getting back on track. I try and surround myself with positive influence each day. So this morning I was working out, and after lifting, I went to cardio. And wouldn't you know it, the last 6 minutes of my cardio exercise, right before I'm about to finish my workout, I run out of podcasts to listen to. Now, I could slow my pace and I could probably have searched for another podcast episode to watch or not watch, but listen to, or another episode. I could have probably found something, but instead I chose to turn on my music playlist, my workout playlist that I will sometimes defer to. And the funny thing, Ozzy Osbourne might not be known for the most positive influence in music. In fact, I think he's more popularly known as the Prince of Darkness. But Ozzy Osbourne came on. He was the first song up, and it was Under the Graveyard. And well, the beat was uplifting, first of all, and helped me stay motivated for those final minutes. But I couldn't help but notice the lyrics spoke to me this morning. They stood out. And as I listened, I heard him say, "My misery owns me." And that's actually the focus of today's message, because wow, what a revelation for me as we start talking about, or as we've been talking about, all the different things in our lives that we can and can't influence, and where we're at, how we got where we are, all of the things, right? And I can't help but think that he's such a profound artist, and has had such success most likely because his music is relevant to so many people. The messages in his music are relevant to so many people. And thank you, Jamie. Yeah, nothing wrong with Ozzy for motivation. And she says that, yeah, her dog was bitten by an insect of some sort, and much better now. Thank you. Good to hear. So yeah, that message though, "My misery owns me," stood out to me today. Before that, I had read a passage from, not a passage, but the message from The Rudder of the Day that I've told you about before by Dan Miller. Oh, let me see. So that's what it looks like. One of Dan Miller's books. I think it's wonderful. It's just a simple 1.5-page read each morning. Great way to start the day. But it tied directly into that. As I was thinking about what could I share today, those two things really stood out to me, and they tied together so well that here we are. So that's the focus for today. Too many people are living their lives like their misery owns them. The choices you made as 18 or 19-year-old children, kids, young adults, in choosing your line of work, it's placed you in a position where you feel trapped. And maybe that's not you, but that is so many people out there that I see and hear from on a regular basis. 20, 30, 40 or more years later, they're looking back and wondering, how did I get where I am? And to make matters worse, for so many of those people, they feel like it's too late. They're trapped, like there's no options left for them, or there's no options for them. And I'll tell you, if that is you, listen up. I'm going to steal a line from Dave Ramsey. If you're still sucking wind, it's not too late for you. You can change your future. I had a conversation just before this live stream today with one of the ladies here in my co-working space, and we were chatting a bit about my thoughts for the day that I'm sharing with you. And one of the things that stood out in that conversation was aside from being able to control the way we think about things, and that it takes me down another rabbit hole, but we build these habits in our lives. And then when we look up, we wonder, why am I here? How did I get here? It's those habits in our lives. Science has shown we have the unique ability to leverage, what is it called? Neuroplasticity in our brains, which is the ability to learn and grow. And that never goes away. It does get rusty, dusty, might need cleaned up. And it might take some practice to build new habits, but we have that ability to build new habits, to change the way we think about things, to change the way we do things. If you just to demonstrate that, right? That habit piece is, how many times have you ever driven to work and you just kind of zoned out and realized that you weren't actually going to work? You were trying to go somewhere else as you pull up into the parking lot. I know I have, and I imagine a few of you have as well. So, those habits, they become subconscious for us, and the only way to affect them is to change the way we think. So, anyway, so I told you it's not too late to change. Regardless of where you're at, how you got there, it's not too late to change. And which brings me to a couple other points. One, I've got some bad news for you, and I'm going to share that with you in a moment. Don't worry, it's not terrible. But the big point that just came to mind, it's not in my notes here, is that habit building. Well, I just lost that train of thought. Sorry, guys and gals. If it comes back to me, I'll share it. But so let me ask you a simple question, and answer in the comments if you will. 4 frogs were sitting on a log, and one decided to jump off. How many frogs remained on the log? 4 frogs sitting on a log, one decided to jump off. How many frogs remained? Thanks, Will. Will says no worries. Thanks. I know the comments are a little slow coming in, so I'm waiting for your answer to the question. 4 frogs sitting on a log. One decided to jump off. Will says 4. Anybody else? I'll just jump in and give you the answer. Maybe I'll see some of your other answers come forth. But yes, there's still 4 frogs on the log. And why is that? One decided to jump off, but he didn't actually take action. He didn't jump completely from the log. That's a good guess, Jamie. She says 4, I reckon. Didn't jump away completely. Yeah, no, the difference is that he decided to take action, or he decided to jump off the log, but he didn't take action. That's the point. So, as you know, I transitioned from the Army in 2018. And since then, I've found myself wandering, around aimlessly, so to speak. Not completely aimlessly, but that I'd chosen not to go back into the line of work I was involved in, that I was familiar with, and because I felt like it just wasn't for me anymore, and I had made that conscious choice. What I didn't know at the time was how much energy I would waste wandering around chasing the thing that would make me feel good. And I had decided to pursue entrepreneurship. But to be real with you, I spent way too much time and way too much energy thinking about the wrong things, thinking about how I could build a business, how I could make more money, how I could do all of the things that come with business. Excuse me. I had decided to pursue entrepreneurship. Now, I'll tell you today, I still don't know all that much about building a business or running a business. I'm doing it the best I can day by day. But I do know that when I finally decided to take action and not just think about it, when I started deliberately exploring who I was, what I might be meant to do, my skill sets, my personality, my interests, all the things, I felt for me that things started coming together. And I'm still working on all of those things, but I made a decision and also decided to take action. And I took action. And I'm here today talking to you because I took action. Now, I don't know what the future looks like. I don't know what this daily will look like. I don't know any of those things. I just know that I'm here, I'm showing up, I'm taking action. And right now, it feels great to share these messages with you. And um, thank you for those of you that have shown your support to me. That's meaningful and feels purposeful. And so that is leading me in the direction that I want to go. So maybe next week the message changes. It might shift. But for now, I'm here. I'm taking action. And that's the important takeaway for today. We've talked about many of the things you need to do in order to start discovering yourself, your dreams, your passions, what's life meant to be for you. And I know it may be scary. It may be hard. Believe me, I know. Those things are not easy, especially when we start looking at how we really got where we are. You know, there's lots of things that you might equate to regrets or mistakes, whatever you want to call them. And I would just encourage you to glimpse at those things in your past. Don't reflect on them too long. Think about it like the rear view mirror in the car, right? It's nice and small, but the windshield is large. And focus on, what do I need to change? What do I need to do to move into that future in front of me? And we use that past as sort of a guide of where not to go in the future. So don't spend too much time dwelling on those things. You know, if you decide you haven't done anything for your future, if you decide and then take action, you'll change your future. So what are you going to do? That's my question for you today. What are you going to do? So I'd love to hear from you in the comments, questions, comments, concerns, other things you'd like to share with me. And while you're pondering that or typing those in, I will come back to the comments in a moment, and I'll leave you with one more quote. So if you want to know your past, look into your present condition. If you want to know your future, look into your present actions. And I think that's a great message to close out today's session. So let's see. Will says, get the lessons of the past and move forward. That's right. I'll go back to that. What was it? Einstein? No, it wasn't Einstein, but that's another good quote. Something along the lines of the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So yeah, use those past lessons to guide your future, but don't dwell on them. We'll feel terrible about ourselves, and nobody wants that, right? What can I do for you today? What can I help you with? What struggles are you facing? What decisions have you made that you haven't taken action on? And what are you going to do? That's powerful right there, Jamie. Quit wasting time and energy on the things that are out of your control, not even just in your immediate control. We can only control and influence our own decision making processes. We can only influence and change the way we take action, whether we take action or not. Those are the things that we can influence. Those are directly within your control. And yes, um, don't bother wasting time and energy trying to change things that aren't within your control. Wonderful, wonderful message. So, hey guys, gals, friends, family, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you participating. And Jamie says she falls victim to it constantly. And Jamie, I think that is probably because you care about other people. There might be some mindset things around that as well, and I know I struggle with that at times. Um, yeah, so just think about that the next time you're in any situation, and what do I have the ability to directly control in this situation? Maybe you're part of a team and people are doing things that are just crazy. I don't know. Think about how can you contribute to making it a better situation, whatever that looks like. And that will, one, I believe that'll just set you apart from those others and allow you to at least feel good about your role. Anyway, yeah, that's great. That's a great way to close out today's session. Again, I appreciate all of you. Um, look forward to seeing you each day. And maybe we'll set up a Zoom call so I can actually see you. Let's see. I think that's it. Yeah. I'll see you all tomorrow, same time. Don't forget to join us in the Facebook group. Share the things that you're working on. Encourage other people. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.